Hey, it's Pop, everybody. We're here today gonna start rebuilding this old greenhouse that got tore up in the hail. Take you along for the ride. Thanks for being here. Okay, we got most of it stripped down on this first day of reconstruction of the old greenhouse. Things are going pretty good. Hey guys, on this greenhouse project, I wanted to show you one of the neatest hacks I've seen for replacing or using an alternative to your spring wire and channel system. That can get pretty pricey, and I'm a pretty cheap guy. But the way this thing works is you cut the edge off of a piece of PVC, of 3/4 inch thin wall or schedule 20 PVC, and then you use a piece of 1/2 inch PVC to snap it in place. The 1/2 inch will fit inside the schedule 20 3/4, and it works good. I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the PVC after it's been cut on the table saw. Now, as you can see, it's not quite halfway through, and it leaves a C shape there so that the 1/2 inch piece will snap right inside of it. And it doesn't quite fit, but if you push it down, it'll lock in there. And when you get some plastic, it takes a little bit of force to push it in, which is good, which that helps you hold it. So this receiver part, this part that's been cut, it attaches to the greenhouse frame however you can, with screws or whatever. And it'll follow a curve pretty good. You may have to shorten the length to get a tighter curve, but it's every bit as easy as the channel system. If you turn it too tight, it'll kind of try to spread out on you. It's really okay, because you're going to come back later and fasten it. So here's kind of a little piece set up here, and it give you a little better demonstration. And so you just put it in there like that, and you may have to use a rubber hammer if you got it doubled or whatever. And of course, the longer it is, the more it holds. And then what I do is I'll trim off the excess and and fold it over usually, and then take a piece of greenhouse tape and tape over it. Or I might come back and put a screw right down through here, just to secure the inside piece down in there, so it can't pop up if you get a big hard wind or whatever. It just double security so that it doesn't come loose. Now the biggest thing is that you do have to have the right setup to cut it. The easiest way is on a table saw. Set up a couple of guides, one to hold down and one to hold it in position, and just run it through there. It takes just a few seconds per piece once you get the saw set up. And now you do have to come back and clean this inside edge. That edge will be real sharp, and it will cut your plastic. So you need to take and run some abrasive down through there of some type, sandpaper or grinding stone or whatever, and cut that edge off. Also, these corners can get really sharp, and so it's nice to take a little file or something, a grinder, and round these edges off so that they don't cut your plastic. But just a little prep work. The other thing is it's very important that the PVC, this is plumber's type PVC. It's not UV protected like electrical conduit would be. So you will need to paint it. Paint it with a latex paint, and that will protect it. It also, it does gas off and will affect and attack the plastic sheathing. And so that paint is what you need on there to keep that from happening. I've had this unpainted in place for years, at least 6 years, and it's held up. But I do suggest painting it because when the plastic did rip, it did rip where it came in contact with the PVC. And here you can see the seat channel all installed in place. As you see here in this shot, the bottom part of the greenhouse is open and the roll-up side is laying there on the ground as I'm trimming this off. Here you can see where the side is put back in place. Behind that is some foam insulation board. This bathroom exhaust fan works perfect to inflate the space between the two layers of plastic. And then here we're putting together a bench out of recycled pallet wood. I see a lot of comments on how to heat your greenhouse. I just want to encourage folks that in order to heat it properly, you need to know how much heat you need for what you have. My greenhouse here has an 8.5 foot peak, and it's about 12 foot wide and about 16 feet long. It's got inflated plastic on the roof. It's got carbonate on the side, and down on the bottom it's got metal with insulation. So you have to take out all into account to find out what your heat loss is, and then you go through a calculation. There's calculators online. But anyway, you hear a lot of stuff that's just not true. So go online and figure out how much capacity you need for your normal lowest temperature of the year, and then calculate your minimum requirement for that. Now, you know, at times it's going to get lower than that minimum average temperature, so you're going to have enough oomph to take care of those situations. Now, the way I figured mine is I want to maintain a 45 degree temperature when I'm at 25 degrees outside. Now, we sometimes get a lot colder than that, and but not usually. So the heating system I have, I think it's a 30,000 BTU heater, and it runs on natural gas, and that's the cheapest source of heat for something like this. You'll spend a fortune trying to heat it with electricity. You can do it, but it's going to be high. Propane's an alternative, but you know, unless you have a big tank, you got to continually mess with it. And then, you know, kerosene heaters, you can get a kerosene heater for 150, 200 bucks for 28,000 BTU kerosene heater. They burn about 8 to 12 hours on a gallon and a half, and they work good, especially if you're in a moderate area. So now you do anytime that there's a flame burning, whether it's propane, natural gas, kerosene, or anything, even candles, you've got to be cognizant that there's a carbon monoxide possibility. You need to make sure there's a little bit of air exchange in the greenhouse. You know, your cat or whatever can stay out there with them running, and they're not going to get poisoned. If you're worried about it, you can put a carbon monoxide sensor in the greenhouse. Whatever, you just got to be smart about it. But it is the most efficient way. I mean, we've been heating houses and apartments forever with those things. So anyway, size your heater, buy what you need to begin with, and don't fool with all that malarkey that they talk about. Well, that does it for this greenhouse project. We've got it pretty much all back together. ready to start moving everything in. And as long as we don't have another 50-year storm, we'll be all right. Thanks for following me, and I appreciate y'all tagging along.